Hello everyone, in today's chess video we'll be talking about the topic which I think is most important and which is the right way to improve your tactics using chess puzzles. So today in modern days chess resources are available online often for free. The hard part isn't finding something to study but it's cutting through the jungle of content to find what's really valuable and important. For most players, improvement comes not from doing more but from focusing on less and simplifying. And it does not get any simpler than puzzles. Puzzles are for chess players that the layups for basketball players and scales for musicians. So you can never stop working on the fundamentals. Yet, as with any kind of chess study, it's not only what you do, it's how you do it depending on how you approach puzzles. You could be getting better each day or simply going through the motion and treading waters. And with that in mind, here are the three ways to get more out of the puzzle and one bad habit to avoid at all costs. So first point is do a little each day. So you have to solve a puzzle. You should give at least some time daily to improve your game. So before we head right into the topic, I want you to subscribe my channel and watch for and join the link for our sponsors for today, which is chess.com, and I'll put their link in the description. So at one time or another you probably crammed for a test by staying up all night studying. You might be surprised to learn that according to the research cramming does not work. It's sort of, but it's possible to pass a test by cramming, but your knowledge will extremely short-lived. Within a few days you probably forget most of what you learned. You build long-term knowledge. You need consistency. So why is consistency so important? It could be that when you study the same thing day after day, it sends a message to your brain that the material should be retained. So sleep is another key factor in learning. It could be that by spreading out the learning over multiple days, it is consolidated during sleep more efficiently. Either way, while the exact mechanism is unclear, the fact is working isn't. If you have an hour to work on puzzles over the course of a week, it's better to do 10 minutes daily for 6 days than a single 1 hour once a week. So the good news is that if you work on puzzles every day, you don't need to go nuts and every single day. Even 10 minutes a day is enough to make real progress. I usually suggest 10 to 30 minutes per day depending on how much time you have and how much you prioritize your chess improvement. So this was our main point, to try and use and play a little bit each day. So another point, the second point is retry your mistakes. So one of the lesser known puzzle features on chess.com is custom puzzle option, and I'll put the link for the custom puzzles in the description. This allows you to select puzzles I have failed and train with only them. If you miss a puzzle the first time, there is a probability or reason you are not a solid on the pattern. You got distracted by a uh, red herring or you failed for some other reason. It makes sense to go back over puzzles you missed to shore up weakness. You can even set a puzzle rating minimum to filter out the dumb ones you missed trying to puzzle rush record. So this isn't something I would do every day, but remember to mix blind spots in once a week or even once in a month or is a good way to make sure you are addressing them. So whenever you play a game, you should analyze your mistakes. It's generally recommended because it opens your brain. But in puzzles, you should, and in chess.com, you can recreate those puzzles which you have lost, or you couldn't be able to pass without the help of the computer. So the third puzzle which is important is take your time. So when do you puzzle? When you do puzzles, There is a temptation to blast through as quickly as possible, and I am guilty of this myself. If your ultimate goal is to get really good at blitz or bullet, this might make sense. But most people who study chess in a structured way care more about rapid or classic. And in those time controls, precision is most important than speed. Uh, it doesn't matter whether you see a tactic in 6 seconds or 3 seconds, but overlooking your opponent's reply because you played too hastily could absolutely cost you a game. So, for that reason, it's important not to rush when you're doing puzzles. Take your time to consider all the possibilities. In particular, push yourself to find the best defenses for the opponent. Most of us find it easier to identify great mistakes, uh, upon, great tricky defenses for our opponent, but both are equally important. In a real game, if your opponent uncorks a defensive move you hadn't anticipated, there is no guarantee you will have a good reply. So, and if you don't, there is a chance you just lost the game. So, the time to start thinking about your opponent's defenses isn't after you have made your first move and then reply appears on the board. It's before you make the first move. You shouldn't wait to see what they are going to do and then figure out how to respond. You should already know how they can try to defend and how you can overcome those defenses. So if you are really not getting a certain puzzle, there is no need to bang your head against the wall. If you have been starting at a puzzle for a few minutes and you really have no clue what's going on, chances are it's patterns that you don't know yet. If that's the case, it's not an efficient use of your time to stare at it for 15 more minutes. Take your best shot and review the answer carefully so you know the pattern next time. So these were the first 3 points, which were do a few puzzles every day, occasionally review your mistakes, and take your time. Precision beats speed. So there is another fourth thing which I think you shouldn't be doing. One thing you should not be doing at any cost. So there is a one habit that's worth addressing because it's so common and has the potential to undo most of all the benefits of puzzle training, and that is playing the first juicy looking move you see without checking whether it works. So it's hard to know the exact number, but my impression from how the puzzles are rated and what your students tell me is that many players, perhaps even a majority, do puzzles that way. If you can break out of the bad habits, you give yourself a big edge. So, broadly speaking, puzzle train two things: pattern recognition and through process and thought process. Sorry, pattern recognition and thought process. So, pattern recognition comes from seeing many positions and their solutions. To be honest, even if you don't have a great process from doing puzzles, you still get a lot of benefits of pattern recognition just from seeing the position. But you won't be optimizing the time you spend on puzzle. The process is how you structure your thinking as you analyze a position. It includes how many moves you consider, what order you calculate variation. And in real game of chess, there are no takebacks. If you guess the first move wrong, you might lose the game on the spot. So if there are always bash up of the first move you see, you reinforce a disastrously bad thought process that you could cancel out the pattern recognition benefits, or in a worst case scenario even makes puzzle a net negative for your chess. So so wrapping up the video, we can simply say we discussed four things. Number one, do a few puzzles every day, and the second was occasionally review your mistakes from the matches and from error and mistakes you make while solving the puzzle. And third is take your time, precision beats speed. And the last one is the point where you shouldn't be doing is don't just bash out the first move you see. And so there you have it. Three ways to get more out of the puzzle and one habit to avoid. Remember, it's all about consistency. Even the most talented players have to study for years to become masters. If you work on puzzles with focus every day, you will well be on the path to mastery. So this was all for today. I hope you liked the video, and please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.